Live. A lot to cover here. We're going to break down this cold weather pattern that's set to really take hold of the East Coast, Felicia, and it starts on Thanksgiving.
It starts on Thanksgiving. I was going to say, we're going to break it down as some of you might be having a breakdown because it's going to be so cold out there. And Chris, we talked about this. This is actually cold that's finally going to stick around for quite some time.
So it's cool, but it's about to get cold. And the cold air is kind of bottled up in the northern plains right now, but it's going to be bleeding down into the Ohio River Valley, the mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, and way down into the deep south. Even Florida is looking at some of the coldest air that we've seen even the last couple of winters.
And it's going to be such a kind of a whiplash a little bit because a lot of the southern tier of the country has been above average today into tomorrow toward the end of the week. So when the colder air builds in, it's really going to be shocking. I mean, when you're talking about 20s, these are the forecast lows in Atlanta, in Memphis, 10s in Cincinnati. It is just bitter cold out there like we haven't seen yet in a lot of places. I know
Felicia's favorite, sub-zero. Single digits and sub-zero temperatures for the first time this season, all the way up into North Dakota, parts of the upper Midwest, and even into the Great Lakes. So by Thursday morning, so for turkey trots, you know, preparations for the big Thanksgiving dinner, 134 million of us are going to be waking up to temperatures below 32 degrees.
And then heading into Friday morning, I don't know if people still line up outside the stores. I'm guessing Black Friday
there's
shopping.
A few that still like the nostalgia of it, but it's not the chaotic craziness that we dealt with when we were kids.
I would say your Black Friday shopping, maybe stick to the online shopping or get to those specific local stores Friday and Saturday, because I know it's Small Business Saturday. Then on Saturday, it's going to be cold if you're out there doing that shopping. You're going to want to bundle up big time.
I mean, that's like 2/3 of the country waking up below freezing. So here's a look at the pattern. And now you throw in, we've got the cold air in place, and we will, and it will stay in place. But then you just throw in some precip, and we're talking snow. And it will come in the form of lake effect, which you see here highlighted. But notice this is kind of our overall pattern. Friday early morning, notice this big trough taking hold of the East Coast, and it just stays in place through the weekend and for a good chunk of next week.
And deepens and intensifies. That cold air is hanging around, so wherever you get the moisture to combine with the cold air, obviously you're getting some of that winter weather. But even beyond that, it is going to feel so much colder for a lot of us once we factor in that wind with these actual lows. I mean, starting to get into the dangerously cold level for especially the northern tier.
And the thing that's so mind-boggling to me, it's still November. This is Thanksgiving morning. 7 will be your low in Bismarck, 13 in Fargo. I mean, if I told you this was January last year, you probably would have believed me. But this is not even officially meteorological winter yet, which will start this weekend on Sunday as December 1st rolls in, and it'll be even colder by then.
That's how your Thanksgiving is starting out. This is how your Friday morning is going to start out. So again, for the Black Friday shoppers, look at this. It got even colder. I mean, now we're down to Friday morning waking up in the single digits in Sioux Falls, Minneapolis 10 degrees, Madison 17. These are cold weather areas, but this is, with the wind cranking is even worse.
Yeah, that's not even the wind chills. I mean, these are your air temperatures, which will be below zero across much of North Dakota, the Red River Valley, -4 in Fargo. We're talking single digits here in the Twin Cities. There could be some pockets getting close to 0, 6 in Sioux Falls, even Des Moines, 15, 20 in Lincoln, and 14 degrees in both Chicago and Peoria.
It is just going to be such a cold time out there. And this is what we're looking at for Friday morning, the below freezing temps. But then also the afternoon is going to stay very, very cold as well. So while we're waking up with cold temperatures Friday morning across the southeast, Saturday morning, it's even colder. It looks like a lot of us could get that first hard freeze.
So
that's something to consider.
Pipes, you got to make sure the hoses are covered. I actually need to do that because we're still watering our plants. I mean, that are still that survived the milder fall. They're about to go away. So I don't need the hose anymore, really. But 22 in Nashville, these will be air temperatures to remind yourselves of, and wind chills will be even colder than that. But the freezing line getting all the way down, even into the Suwannee River Valley, North Florida, likely dealing with some frosty conditions, including Tallahassee, Gainesville, and even Jacksonville.
I mean, you can see in the higher elevations, places like Asheville down in the 20s. So certainly something to think about there for everyone still doing the recoveries, some way to stay warm with those temperatures getting so very cold for a prolonged period.
So speaking of prolonged, this is the outlook for the first 5 days of December. And we can even go beyond that, Felicia, heading into December 9th. So the first full week and a half of December, the whole entire East Coast likely very cold and below average. And as far as snowfall goes, this is what we've seen so far. So the cold and the snowy active pattern has been across the west. We've done well. And the northern plains have seen a good bit of snow. And last week we saw our first snows here for the Ohio River Valley. We're going to be adding to that.
Yes, we are,
across the Great Lakes, especially with lake effect snow.
I mean, we needed the precipitation in any way we could get it before the drought across this region. But you'll notice that pattern flip as we head through December, and the cold air is really taking over the eastern portions of the country. Out there enjoying this. Let's talk about where we're going to be watching this next round of kind of messy weather. Let's take a look at that next system. Let's see here. I think I scrolled past it. There we go. We're going to be watching our next system move through low pressure that's going to bring us rain and snow, but the amount of snow depends on the track of this low. This is going to be Wednesday through Thursday, and then adding up onto that with lake effect snowfall totals heading through Friday and into the weekend. I want to get to the model differences here for you. So this is the European model. I'm going to show you two different models, the European and the American. They both have slightly different solutions. So you'll notice the European model has some higher totals, maybe up around 5 to 8 inches or even a foot there for portions of the Northeast, but it doesn't really bring a whole lot to, say, Columbus, Indianapolis, or Pittsburgh. Now, the American model has a slightly different idea. It's got a little bit of the 5 to 8 inches, but it doesn't have as high totals, but it brings a bit more action in terms of snowfall to Indianapolis, Columbus, maybe a little bit more for you in Pittsburgh as well. So here's the American model. That is the model that I just showed you. You'll notice places like Cincy, Pittsburgh, Binghamton, you're all going to be in that wintry weather according to this model. Thanksgiving morning, that could impact your travel. Still getting that snowfall and wintry weather cranking Thanksgiving evening. NYC, Boston, Bangor, you guys have the rain still falling according to the American model. Now the European model, again, a slightly different idea. It still has the same type of system, but you'll notice for Thanksgiving morning, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, you guys are in rain instead, which would be a much better travel forecast if you're trying to, say, just drive a couple hours to relatives. Now, by the time we get to Thanksgiving evening, the European has New York out of the rain, but Boston's still in it. So yet to still come is the true forecast for this system. So make sure you check back in for your Thanksgiving forecast. Easy weather video out there today. These are the best. The weather gone viral. Top 5 videos of the day. Here we go. Number 5.